Last week, we learned about NPM, the Node Package Manager, and how to use it to install Node modules. This week, we're going to learn how to use an NPM command to initialize a Node project. We're also going to start the project from GitHub, which will give us the opportunity to review what we've learned about Git. Let's see how much you remember. Okay, so let's start out by going to github.com. Hopefully you will already be logged in, but if you aren't, you can sign in. And then once you get to your page with your repositories, we're going to create a new repository. So click the New button, and we will give our repository a name. Let's call it Learning JavaScript, because we are going to use this project to learn JavaScript. Now you can leave it public because we're not going to have anything in there that other people can't see. We're going to initialize the repository with a README, not because we're going to put anything in the README file right now, but it could be useful for later. We're going to add a git ignore file. So let's do that, and then I will explain what it is. Filter by the word node. So now that's been added in. What git ignore does is it ignores certain kinds of files in your project so that you don't have to commit them to your repository. So Node has a whole bunch of modules that are usually installed in applications that you don't need to commit to your GitHub repository, because what will happen is if someone wants to pull down your repository and run your program, they can do that by running an npm install, and all of their stuff will install for them that way. That's what git ignore does. So now we can click Create Repository. And now our repository has been created. Now we'll go over to the Code button, and we're going to clone our repository. So click that Copy button, make sure that SSH is selected. Now let's go over to our command line, and let's make a new folder. We have been so far putting our projects into the Documents folder, but it makes more sense to put the projects into the Projects folder. I already have a Projects folder, so if I do the command make directory projects, it's going to tell me I already have one. But if your file doesn't exist, then it will create that new folder for you. And then you can CD to the projects folder. And now we'll do git clone, and then we'll paste. So there's the address to get the Learning JavaScript stuff from GitHub. So click return. And now we've cloned there. So now let's CD into that project. So CD into Learning JavaScript. And the next thing we're going to do is we are going to initialize this project as a Node project. And the way we do that is with an npm command. It's npm init, that stands for initialize, and then we're going to put in -y. The reason why we put in -y is because that sets a whole bunch of defaults for us. If we don't put in that -y, it will ask us all kinds of things like, what do you want this to be called? And what do you want the creator name to be? And things like that. So we don't need to do all of that. So let's just do -y and click return. And now the project has been initialized. So let's do an ls if you're in Mac, or a dir if you are in Windows, to see what's in there now. And we can see that we've got our README file, which is what we created when we initialized this as a Git project. And then we've got this package.json file, which was created when we initialized this as a Node project. So we will learn more about the package.json file next week, what it does and why it's there. In the meantime, you can rejoice in knowing that you've got a Node project all set up, and it's also set up to be connected to GitHub. Now, if you want to, as an exercise to review your GitHub knowledge, you can try adding the new file, the package.json file, and then committing it, and then pushing it up to the main branch on your GitHub project. Thanks for watching this video. If you found my training helpful, please like this video and share it with others. And be sure to subscribe so you don't miss a single lesson. If you're enjoying Monday Morning Automation and you'd like to learn even faster, be sure to check out my book, The Complete Software Tester, which is available in Kindle and paperback on Amazon.com.